all donation. Since then, as we got older, we got a little more business savvy, started building relationships with the city of Phoenix, receiving grants to fund the yoga and jazz project that we were doing, sponsored by Downtown Phoenix Inc. And then that came to a halt in March of 2020 in our second session. Who do I serve? I serve the community. I serve people who lack access to wellness. I serve Black people. I serve the Black community. And I just serve people who are curious and interested in their well-being and different approaches to their well-being. Recently, in the lockdown, I live alone, so during the lockdown, I spent a lot of time investing in my learning. So I enrolled myself in a community doula certification training. I've been an auntie since I was 12 years old, so I feel like getting this certification was just kind of like getting me more of a foot in the door. This feels very like natural work for me to give care and to care for pregnant people as well as their families. So this is very new to me. So now I've been crafting the business models and contracts and agreements and websites around this. Just last week, I experienced my first home birth. I was a shadow doula, it's called. And the word doula is Greek for woman servant. Doula, a little bit more about doula, and the collective I'm in, we're called the Village Mother Collective. We are starting to stray away from that term doula and use more the term village mother, because we don't consider ourselves just servants. We consider ourselves like wisdom keepers in the community, like an auntie, like someone comes to receive support in this service. So I was a shadow village mother for this primary support, just to get some more experience. I had never experienced a home birth before. And pretty much these caregiving roles I've had up until here have just been very easy for me. I've been very successful at them. It's very natural. So I went in very confidently into this setting. And just a disclaimer, I am going to be talking about infant mortality in this talk. So if anyone is uncomfortable with that, please take some time to leave if you need. I will not be offended. I know that can be triggering. It's still triggering for me, but I think it's an important story to share as a community caregiver and a leader. Anyway, so I am prepared to go to this home birth, and it is beautiful. I walk in and mother's rocking it. Like, just to see a birthing person in that much power is very humbling, and it's art, it's living art. It's sacred, it's just transformative. I didn't think I was going to be as involved as I was. I was like, oh, I'm just going to be a shadow. Like, I feel good about it, but I might just be a fly on the wall. Like, they have all the support that they need. I'll just be there with my head wrap on and like my Erykah Badu get up, like just giving, like with my crystals, just giving like the good vibes, you know. That was not the case. I got there, mother was already pushing, the midwife hadn't even showed up yet, and it's just the primary support doula there. She's pushing, and I'm like, oh my God, we're about to deliver this baby. Like, I'm about to deliver this baby. And the primary doula gives me a little flashlight, and she tells me to take a look. And it's like, okay, the baby wasn't crowning yet, but it's very close. I was like, okay, right into it, hands on. I'm touching her. I'm going into all the comfort measures, we call them. I'm squeezing hips. I'm rubbing scalp. I'm moving hips from side to side. The yogi in me is breathing deep, because I know it's hard to guide breath, but if someone hears it, they can do it. So I'm just like doing that the whole time. Midwife shows up, takes heart tones, says, you know, heart tones sound good, you know, she's coming with live energy, she's pumped. Mom's in it. So we're just all being of support, moving intuitively, giving her what she needs. She was very empowered, talking about her needs, moving around the room, having the lights low. That's healthcare, P.S. Like, to give a birthing person what they need is beautiful healthcare. Mother starts to crown, which means that baby's head is right there. Mother's on all fours, facing away from us, facing the bedroom wall on the bed. And midwife asked me, she's like, okay, as soon as this baby is born, I'm gonna need you to hit this time on her iPad to like log the time of birth. That's a huge task. I was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, like this is very important. Like, a time of birth is very, very important. And so I'm front row center right there, just like watching. I have like my trigger finger ready. I'm like, okay, don't mess it up, don't mess it up. We're all cheering mom on, you know, midwives saying baby's name, calling it here, and head came out, and it didn't look good. And it's like, it was my first home birth. It wasn't my first birth ever, but it wasn't looking good. And it was me and midwife right there. We were the first ones to see, and it's like, okay, and I still have my trigger finger ready, like, okay, this is okay, I'm just gonna be here with this and be present. Midwife notices and starts using their hands to help baby come. Baby was born. I logged that time right away. I didn't freeze, hallelujah. Logged the time, and baby was born with no breath. It was a stillbirth. And since that happened, it's like I know a secret. Like, that this is a reality of this work. And it's a reality for birthing people. But I signed up for this, and all the business I've done before it hasn't prepared me for this. So I'm grieving along with the family, and I'm sitting with this grief because I don't want to give up this work. And if anything, I have this secret that tells me that this work is even more valuable than I thought. And for this to be the first experience, there's a lot of lessons to unpack. And I feel like I got this secret right away to prepare me for more, to be present with other outcomes. Luckily, I logged that time of birth because that was the first question the ambulance asked when they came. And I was so proud of myself that I did. Since then, I'm really learning how to, as a caregiver, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, what surrender looks like in this moment, and how surrender is a successful strategy for me to not give up and to keep going. Because I have my own client who I've been working with that is scheduled to have a home birth at the end of June, and I'm committed to that client, and I'm committed to this work. And I'm also traumatized. I'm also empowered. I'm also sad. You know, it's this dance between all these things. But the world doesn't stop. People don't stop needing service, even when it doesn't go as planned. You know, maybe they need even more service. With the family, the baby didn't make it. I haven't brought myself to go visit family yet, because I don't want to bring all my shit to them, because there's a lot of shit coming up for myself. I'm like, damn. So now I'm like, okay, Ashley, what does support look like for you? What does support look like for you? What does surrender look like for you? Like I said, being of care, giving care is like I'm in the seat of control in some way. I'm completely out of control now. What does surrender look like? Surrender right now looks like community. It looks like sharing a story. It looks like not isolating, even though I want to so bad. I want to not come here. I want to cancel this. I want to go hide. Which I know I'm not alone in that. I know other people have their ways of dealing with grief as well. And one thing I love about being raw and vulnerable in community is that we hold each other accountable. The commitments that we make with one another is accountability. Like, I was accountable to come and share, which is good. Support and surrender looks like interviewing therapists right now. I don't have a therapist. I've been interviewing therapists. Support, surrender looks like I think I want to start collaborating more with this work. I don't think I want to do it on my own. I'm in a collective, but I'm really looking like, okay, what does deeper collaboration look like? Maybe I can build my own team that we go and do these things together. I thrive in collaboration. Hiring people, maybe, to just even uphold a schedule for me. That's what's going on now. I'm still committed to this care. I'm still committed to advocacy for care. And, you know, I have this secret now that this outcome is a reality. And I'm sitting with how to turn this secret into success, into prep for other folks. And I know some people are like, oh, like you can maybe just prep other birthing people you work with on this outcome. I'm like, I don't know if that's the right thing. Like, you don't go right into, okay, what would you do if? Because that's still my shit. Like, you know, so finding other ways to finesse in my own way, silently doing work to prepare maybe. So I'm grieving, and grief looks differently for all of us. It feels good to be able to shed tears in front of you all and just be human in front of you all. I know we all have our creative outlets and our businesses and our plans, but at the end of the day, we all are humans having this experience together. And I hope that me sharing this experience inspires you to be a little bit more vulnerable and inspires you to reflect on what surrender looks like for you in your life. I'm gonna open up to Q&A, and before we do that, I do want us to reflect maybe, and we could do this silently, on what grief has looked like for us, for our own selves. I know as creatives, like if we've created anything out of grief, because this birth work actually was a creation from grief. I signed up to do this training in the pandemic after my mom had COVID, because I see the importance of new beginnings and new life. So yeah, we can reflect on that together. And that's all. Thank you.
Does anyone have questions or thoughts that come to mind?
Or reflections, or if